to be with you this morning. Happy Valentine's Day. I wonder what you've been up to already this morning. Just before we get started, a few things about who's in the room. We've got our usual Fab Tech team. We've got Abby and Chris, and we're joined by Bob, who is learning the ropes. We have a very special guest.
We do. Who do you reckon it is?
Well, shall we tell them?
Yeah, go on then.
We've got Ian coming in the room today, so later on he's going to be chatting with us. And you can see that Wendy is here to take all of your comments, so do keep chatting. I wonder though, since it's Valentine's Day, as we start, what things do you do to show love for your family? So send us your comments in the chat. That's our first question for today. What do you do to show love to your family? And we're going to give you a minute or so to think together. Okay, so today we're going to be needing a few bits and pieces for the craft. Susie, what are we going to need?
Well, if you've got them, if you could get 2 paper plates. If you don't have paper plates, what you could do is just get a bit of card or a bit of paper and draw around a plate, but they do need to be the same size. So if you could get 2 paper plates or 2 bits of card the same size, it would also be really helpful if you have some pens and if you have some scissors, and actually it'd be really helpful if you could dig out a ruler in your house, and I'll tell you why a little bit later on.
Great. Now, I believe we've got some pictures from what you've all been up to since last week. So we've had cheesy feet. That sounds disgusting.
I have to say, they were very tasty cheesy feet. I didn't expect them to be so tasty. Who knew? And also, I know lots of you sent in pictures for our tea party boxes. Thank you so much. We've only got one on display. That's my Caitlin's. But thank you to everybody who sent in a picture. They're going to be sent out by Ian and Karen next week.
Right. I'm sure people will love them.
Do you know what? They are going to love them, definitely.
I mean, they'll love the tea as well. I'm sure that the pictures will just be like the icing on the cake.
It'll be a good day, mid-February, won't it?
Yes, because isn't it hard, February? Oh, dear, dear. So it says in the Bible that God is love. Since God loved us that much, we surely ought to love each other. So we only love because God has shown us how. And I don't know about you, Susie, but that isn't always easy, is it? Even in families where we're supposed to love each other all the time. So we're going to start with our eyes on God and his love. So, do you know, I can't remember who's doing this clip. Is it?
It's my
It's
tea.
your children.
It's my
I
tea,
thought
yeah.
it was. We're going to have a song now for us to worship. So bring yourself before God, and we're going to sing about God being love.
Love the Lord with all your heart, all your mind, and all your strength. Oh, love the Lord. Oh, love the Lord. Love the Lord with all your heart, all your mind, and all your strength. Oh, love the Lord. Oh, love the Lord. This is what He is asking us to do. This is what He is asking me and you. God, we love you. God, we love you. God, we love you. That is why we sing. God, we love you.
Great. I hope you enjoyed that.
We
And I-
loved that one here,
Yeah,
didn't we?
I know. We were just looking at Susie's children, thinking how grown up you are now.
Mm.
So, I wonder, Wendy, have we got any feedback from our question about what we do to show love to our family?
We have, and lots of people are saying hugs, which I think are the best thing. Amelie and Maddie and Mark Brightwell, but it might not be Mark. Caitlin says, I give them kisses and hugs, saying that I love them.
She does that a lot.
Kate Clark said her mum gave her a donut, but that might be Susanna. Josh says that he likes to play nicely with Toby on Minecraft.
Ooh.
That's a real gift, isn't it? When your kids get on and don't fight.
Lindsay Brightwell said that Mark bought her a cup of tea this morning.
Oh,
that's
lucky
really
you.
nice.
Jemima said that Ruth made her some yummy rock cakes yesterday.
Nice.
Ivy said that she shows her love by helping one another.
That's really useful as well.
Yeah, that's a great
Especially
one,
coming
Ivy.
up to half term.
Yeah.
Keep that up.
And Noah said he shows love by being kind and giving hugs to his friends and family.
Oh.
That's great. Thank you so much, everybody. And I do hope that you'll carry that on through half term, because half term is no school. Yay! But it's going to be tricky because you can't really go anywhere so much.
It might be a bit chilly.
Might be a bit chilly. Anyway, let's not worry about that now. We're going to be hearing about one of Jesus' miracles shortly. But first, I wonder what miracles you know of that Jesus performed. If you think back, I think we've already looked at one so far. So you know of at least one. So pop those in the chat and we'll come back to your answers in a moment. In a while, I'm going to do some magic. I know.
Really?
Well, not really. It's actually culinary magic. Magic in the kitchen with a little tiny bit of food that fits inside this container.
What?
With
That's
my
like
sushi.
that's like a mouthful.
I know.
So what are we going to eat?
But, well, we're going to be able to eat. Everybody in this room is going to be able to eat from this pot here.
Really?
Absolutely. Well, it's not going to be really magic because we're going to have some real magic now.
We are.
We're going to go into the Wood household and we're going to hand over to Nathan, who doesn't have a magician name, I don't think, and his two assistants for the Wood Family Magic Show. Wow. Enjoy, everyone.
Welcome to the Wood family house.
And today, I will be doing some magic. First up, I will try to read Lois's mind. Go on, sit down. Are you sure? Yes. Yes, I'm sure. Of course I'm sure. Sorry. I'll just pick some cards.
What have you got there? A pack?
Yeah, I've got a pack of cards. I'm going to select some for Lois. Now, for this trick, I will read her mind with my eyes closed for the whole time. Ooh. Okay, Lois, please pick a card and then show it to the camera. Show it to the
Show us
camera.
your card. Don't say what it is. Thank you,
Have you
Lois.
remembered it, Lois?
Yes.
Now, remember to say stop when you want to put it back in.
Stop.
Okay, I will now find your card. Okay. Don't think it's that one. Pretty sure. No. Oh. Oh, I've got something. It definitely feels different, doesn't it?
I'm
Feels-
pretty sure it's flat, like all the others.
No. Is this your card? Show it to the camera again.
Yes.
Ah, well done.
Ta-da! Okay, next up I will do the cup and ball trick.
Oh,
Ball, cup, yes? Cup, ball, cup, ball.
Yep.
No difference. First, you put the ball in here.
Yep.
And I will make it come out.
Uh-huh.
Who comes up with this stuff? Come on, out you come. How'd that happen? Need to try something. Maybe, I don't know. Right. Moving on. Come on, Abby.
The ball's there.
Yeah, I know. Abby, come on. For our final trick, I will make this cockroach. Disgusting, right? Disappear. Thank goodness. I don't want a little cockroach like that. Just stick it in this box. Oh no, it won't close. Sorry, audience, give me a second. Something's wrong. Sorry, something's very wrong. Okay, it's shut. Right. Thank you. I think it wants to party. Still there. I'm gonna try that again.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Where's it
Well,
gone?
phew, if I didn't want a cockroach invading my room.
I think you'll find
Ah!
that. Magic!
Yeah.
Ew, disgusting. Jesus fed 5,000 people, there'll be 5,000 ears from the audience at the church.
I want to wash my eyes!
Thank you for watching Word Family Magic!
Nathan, Abigail and Lois, thank you so much. We so enjoyed that. As you can see, we've done our own magic here.
Hello.
Susie has turned into Ian.
Amazing.
So we're going to be chatting in a few moments. But first, let's just find out what you've been talking about on chat. What miracles do they know about that Jesus performed?
Well, Josh Brightwell said feeding the 5,000, which we've already
Excellent.
heard. The next one I particularly like, turning water into
To
wine.
yes.
Very
good
good.
one.
And walking on water.
Oh,
Wouldn't
yeah.
we all like to be able to do that? That'd be amazing. And then the last one, which is probably the most amazing of them all, coming back to life.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So, yeah, well done. That's the only comment we've had. on
Great.
that
Well,
today.
we might come back to it if there's a few more. Do let us know, Susie. So we just want to be clear here that actually Jesus was not a magician, despite how it might look. If Nathan was prepared to reveal his secrets, Nathan Wood, I'd love to know how you do what you do. He'd be able to explain how the magic worked, but the only explanation for the fact that Jesus did what he did was that he was God, which is what caused so much trouble, wasn't it? So we are going to be looking, as you've already heard today, at the story of the feeding of the 5,000 using some food that a little boy brought, which just didn't seem enough. So we thought actually at this point in time, acknowledging that we all find ourselves in situations where we don't feel like we've had enough or got enough or can bring enough for anybody to use. I don't know how you feel about that, Ian. Because we all kind of think, Ian Sackhouse doesn't have any struggles in his
Yeah,
life.
exactly. People look at people like me and think, oh, they just breeze through life and they just. But no, most days I feel like that and feel that I haven't got enough. And what can this do? And most of the times I'm about to preach this morning in the main service, and I look at my notes and think, well, it looks like 5 loaves and 2 fishes. It's not much, but hopefully God takes hold of it, and that's what you pray for. But yeah, I'm just the same.
Yeah. And I guess for me, I'm really conscious at the moment, and this is perhaps for you parents, just how little you often feel like you've got. My children are a bit older now. I don't feel like I've had at all the pressure of homeschooling that all of you are having. So I don't know how you are doing what you're doing and trying to keep all those balls up in the air. So we just wanted to encourage you this morning with a few kind of little stories of our own. When my mum was really ill in hospital, Ian, I don't know how much you realise what a part you played, and actually the church family played in helping me to kind of feel like I didn't have to do it all myself. That although I wanted to be there as much as I could, actually God always sent exactly the right people to visit her at the time when I just needed to take my dad down and have a cup of tea or something like that. And, sometimes I'd ask him for it and sometimes I forgot, but he did it anyway. So just be encouraged, even if you haven't got the faith to ask for it, just trust that God will always give you enough. Have you ever experienced anything like that in your family life?
Oh, family life, and church life. I mean, I think homeschooling, I just don't know how you do it. I mean, I was telling you beforehand,
Yeah.
Rachel, Susie and I,
We
we went,
encourage folks, if you've managed it for longer than Ian Stackhouse, you do.
well, we left, when we left our previous church, before we came here, we were in the States for 3 months. And we were going to homeschool the boys. So they were all under 10. Daniel was 3. So
I remember Daniel at 3. I think
You
that
can
was the
remember when
point
he
at
first
which I
came there.
first met him.
And we had this idea to homeschool. I think it lasted for a day. And I said to Susanna, I said, this is really hard work. So I went into the car and went around all the local schools in Cincinnati and got them into American schools, which was brilliant. I mean, they had 3 months in American schools. And they've got such wonderful memories of that. But it started because I said to Susanna, there's just no way we can do this. So I think
Well
you're
done.
amazing. I think
Yeah.
to do this as families, I mean, let's pray that it's not going to be too much longer. I just think it's amazing. So keep going.
Yeah.
And
just
you're doing something I could never do. And keep trusting God.
So I guess the point is, isn't it, that just Jesus wants us to come to him, to bring the rubbish of our lives and to offer it to him for him to do a bit more than we can manage ourselves. So we are going to go into the story in just a moment. If you want to read it for yourself, then you can find it in the Bible in John chapter 6, verses 10 to 14. But we've got another special guest, not quite being beamed in live. She has sent us her version of the story. The amazing Ruth White is going to tell it in her own special way. So Ruth, it's over to you. Do enjoy this, folks, and I do hope you're going to get all your Lego people out and have a go at telling this story later on, kids, or even parents. So over to you, Ruth.
Thank you, Rachel. Are you ready for the story? It's a reflective story today, so it's slightly different from what you might be used to from me. Jesus and his disciples were coming home. They had been out and about in all the villages, healing the sick, casting out spirits, and teaching people about the kingdom of God. They were very, very tired. So Jesus said, "Let's go away to a quiet place, then we can find rest." But a crowd saw them from far away and ran towards them. When Jesus saw the crowd, they looked like a sheep without a shepherd. And so Jesus gathered them in, healing them and teaching them the ways of the kingdom of God. The large crowd listened and listened all day to his teachings and to his stories, and they listened until it was near the end of the day, and they were getting hungry. Philip said, "Send the people away so they might go into the towns and buy food." Jesus answered, "You feed them." But the disciples said, "We have no money or food. It isn't possible." Jesus said, "Show me what you do have." Andrew saw a small boy in the crowd, and he had 5 loaves of bread. And 2 fish. Andrew said, "Here is a child with some food, but this is not enough to feed the large crowd." Jesus said, "Tell everyone to sit down." Then Jesus took the bread and the fish, and he blessed it. Then he broke it and shared it out, giving some to every disciple. Then he said, "Go and give it to all the people." So the disciples spread out, handing the food to 5,000 people. There was enough for everybody to eat till they were full. When they were finished, Jesus said, "Go and collect up all the leftover food." And there were 12 basketfuls left over. Everyone had been fed. Everyone was amazed to see this miracle that Jesus had performed, and they wanted Jesus to be their king. But Jesus had slipped away. The disciples followed on. The 12 disciples. The 12 baskets. The one small child. I wonder, what was it like being a small child in that large crowd? I wonder, what's in your basket that you can give to Jesus today?
Thank you so much, Ruth. We were having our own conversations here about the bread and the fish that you made. I absolutely love that story, don't you? I think it's my favourite of all the miracles. It's the one that just blows my brain.
How did they end up with more food at the end than when they
When
started?
they started, it just seems like completely impossible. I wonder who you identify with in the story today. Maybe you feel a bit like the disciples who were tired and weary and just wanting to go away somewhere. Maybe you are like the crowd, a bit kind of lost, but Jesus had compassion. Or maybe you feel like the little boy and you just don't have enough. It might feel that what you've got at the moment is just not enough. But as we heard in the story, when it's given to Jesus, he can do the miracle and increase it. And he wants us to do that. Jesus said in the story, I love this bit that Ruth said, "Show me what you do have."
Yeah.
Which is, that's the key question. So Ruth asked a question at the end of her story, and we're going to ask you that question now. Ruth said, "I wonder what's in your basket that you can give to Jesus today. What do you have that you can share with others?" We talked a bit at the beginning about love and how we share love with our families, but let's think about other things that we can share with other people. Things that perhaps we don't feel we've always got enough of. So what can you have? What do you have that you can share?
Have you got any ideas of things that you would share, Rachel, just to give them an idea?
Oh, just to give them an idea. Now you put me on the spot. What about smiles? You can share a smile with anybody, and you can do that socially distanced. You can smile at you. Hello.
And when you do share a smile, you nearly always get a smile back.
You do, and it kind of just goes around and around.
And it just grows and grows and grows, a bit like those loaves and fishes.
Yeah. So we actually done quite a bit of sharing of food recently, and leaving little gifts on people's doorsteps. And actually, we had a surprise land on our doorstep.
Did you?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, we had a meal from the cafe.
Aww.
And that was just at the point at which I needed it. So that was a story I completely forgot about. So thank you, Ruth and Open Grounds. You're already doing the stuff that we've been talking about. So what do you have that you can share? We're going to give you a minute to chat now. Okay, I promised you culinary magic. So I said that we were going to do something with food that fits in a little tiny pot. Here is my little tiny pot. This time it's got food in it. You know what this is, Ian?
Peanuts?
Peanuts, not quite. Do you want to put the apron on? Because Ian is going to be my sous chef. While
Yes.
I chat, he is going to hopefully operate the microwave because we're going to do some magic.
Which way you
With-
put it? Right? Oh, there.
Yeah, I got it back to front, inside out.
Is that the right way?
That's the right way around. That's where we discovered that my head is too
Does that
small.
look good?
Lovely. It does kind of tone in with the jumper.
Thank you.
Perfect. Because it's really important, isn't it, to have a clean apron when you're doing cooking. So here goes our little pot. I wonder if you've guessed what it is here. Can I come closer? Here we go. It's lots of. Oh,
Oops,
lost one.
dropped one.
Abby's got one already. It's popcorn. Now, you probably know that popcorn does some magic when you do a bit of heat. So here it goes, 30 grams of popcorn. There we go, Ian.
What do I have to do?
In the microwave.
In the
please.
microwave?
In
No,
the
do I just shake
microwave.
it?
You don't need to
Oh.
shake it.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully you know
I didn't use a microwave. We don't have a microwave.
Bottom button.
Which one?
The bottom button with the fun hot print in it. Open
Doing.
the door. Da-da-da.
Ta-da.
In it goes.
In?
In.
Ta-da!
Door closed.
Oh.
Thank you. And you need to press the 1 minute timer 3 times because we need
That one
3
there?
minutes. Yep.
3 times. Oh, I
3
see.
times
I did
to
3
make
minutes.
3 minutes.
Not very clever. 3, 1,
2,
2,
3.
3.
Are you ready? And now you press start, which is the orange button at the bottom, and hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes! Fantastic. And you can see we didn't
Works.
prepare this earlier. So while this magic is happening, we are going to worship again. We're going to use a song that Chris and his family had great fun doing a few weeks back that gets faster and faster and faster. We're going to sing about how God can do anything. So all of those little things that you've just thought out, the things that you can share, we'll come back to the comments in a moment. Bring them to God now as you worship. And we're going to sing, God can do anything. Don't put him in a box. What is it?
Don't shove them in a corner.
Don't shove him in a corner. Don't limit what God can do. So over to the song, Chris.
Hopping.
Excellent.
God can do anything, anything at all. God can do anything, anything at all. Nothing is too big for him and nothing is too small. God can do anything, anything at all. Don't put him in a box, don't shove him in a corner. Don't you limit what he can do. Don't put him in a box, don't shove him in a corner. Don't you limit what he can do. God can do anything, anything at all. God can do anything, anything at all. Nothing is too big for him and nothing is too small. God can do anything, anything at all. Don't put him in a box, don't shove him in a corner. Don't you limit what he can do. Don't put him in a box, don't shove him in a corner. Don't you limit what he can do. God can do anything, anything at all. God can do anything, anything at all. Nothing is too big for him and nothing is too small. God can do anything, anything at all. Don't put him in a box, don't shove him in a corner. Don't you limit what he can do. Don't put him in a box, don't shove him in a corner. Don't you limit what he can do. God can box and shove him in the corner. Don't you limit what he can do. Don't put him in the box and shove him in the corner. Don't limit what he can do. Yeah, yeah.
Great. I hope you had a bit of fun doing all those actions and getting completely lost like I usually do. So before we finally see what's happened in our microwave, Wendy, have we got anything in the chat?
Yes, we have. So, Maddie says happiness, and Theo says pancakes.
That's a good idea. Pancake Day Tuesday. There's a lot going on this
Welcome
week, isn't
to
there?
share his pancakes with me anytime. A good dad joke. Share that. That's a good idea. George says he can share his teddies. Abigail, who is 8, said she wanted to share her pocket money. That's very generous.
Very generous.
Caitlin said we could share kindness and happiness.
That's fab too. Need a lot of that today.
Ivy says she can share her love with others. And little Sammy has been waving and blowing raspberries.
Oh.
And little Felicity has been blowing kisses and clapping.
Oh, shall we do a bit back then? Ready?
What lovely ways to share your love to
Yeah.
everybody.
I thought of another thing. You know, you put me on the spot and we...
Yes, sorry.
I thought about putting stuff in the food bank.
Yes.
That's a really good
Yeah.
way to share with people who you don't even know. And that really blesses people. I wonder how many times people have been really encouraged by having a nice bottle of squash or hot chocolate. So, we feel like we should perhaps have a bit of a drum roll moment. Would you like to open the microwave? Let's see if our magic has worked.
Smell is
Oh, I
delicious.
wish we could do smelly vision.
Does it smell
It's
delicious?
just-
No. What do I do? Press
the
that.
button, yeah.
Ta-da!
Now you have to be really careful getting it out because you use the little handles
Oh.
because it's quite hot at the sides. Health and safety.
Ah. Oh, it is hot.
Oh.
Ooh. So where do I put it? On here?
So, oh golly, it's gone a...
A bit. Oops.
Oh, there we go. Oh, we've got a
Oh.
bit of a bird bit in the middle.
I thought it
Whoa.
was a little bit.
I thought it smelled burning.
Oh no, there's a whole chunk in the middle. But let's just tip it
I
in
like.
the bowl.
I actually
This
like
is
burnt
really
popcorn.
good TV, isn't it? When stuff doesn't quite go wrong. Let's hope
Maybe
we've
got
got
a
a
very
smoke
powerful
alarm.
microwave.
Yeah. What do I do now?
So tip it into the
Oh,
bowl.
tip it
We'll
into
have a
it.
little look at how burnt our popcorn is, folks. I did practice this at home and it was totally fine.
Well, you didn't reckon on me cooking, did you?
So look at that. Even although it might look a bit crispy in the middle, there's some really good bits in there.
Oh yeah,
That
thank you.
little tiny bit of popcorn.
Oh, sorry, am I allowed to eat it?
Well, you've done it now.
Very
Is
nice.
enough to feed everybody in this room if we were only allowed to share. So we're going to do a craft now, or rather Susie's going to come in and do
So
a
we're going to
craft.
switch places.
So we've got to do a quick bit of shifting around.
Oh, to be able
Did you take your popcorn with you, Mr. Popcorn
Sorry.
Maker?
Ooh, I'll put that on there. There we go.
Thank you. Right, I'm going to come on. Hello, everybody. Now, hopefully, you've either got 2 paper plates or you've traced round a piece of card with a plate. If you could do it now with us, we're actually going to use this to pray a little bit later on. But don't worry if you don't finish in time. We can still pray. Now, let me show you my example, what we're going to do. We've been learning about 2 fishes and 5 loaves, haven't we, in the story? And we're going to be making something where they get a bit gobbled up. Look at this. Who's eating my bread? Is that you, Rachel?
Absolutely. I had a little munch while you weren't looking.
We are going to be making something where we can share and eat. And look at that. Isn't that incredible? And there we go. So if you would like to make one like this, you can make one with 2 fishes and 5 loaves. However, Rachel, you've made a different one, haven't you?
Well, I'm going to show you one that I've made in a minute because I thought actually can never quite stop being a teacher. Really good for fractions, folks at home. So homeschooling can stop during half term. But look, I can show you half of my pizza, or a quarter of my pizza, or probably an eighth of my pizza.
Oh, lovely.
So a little bit of
I do
maths
that
there.
with apples. It's very good
Yeah,
to do it with
very
apples
good.
as well. Okay. However,
I'm going to do a different kind of plate because I'm going to bring before God the stuff that I feel I don't have quite enough of. So I'm going to write some words on my plate while you are doing this together as a family. And we're going to use those ideas to bring them before God and to pray together.
And I'm going to be drawing pictures on my plate of things I think I've got to share. So I'm going to do like a great big smiley face and things like that, things that I think I've got to share. You're going to be doing a few things that you think you don't have enough of. And you could do a mixture of both, pictures, words, whatever you want to do. But firstly, I'm going to show you how to make it like this. So if you can see here, I've basically got 2 paper plates with a slit in the middle. Now, the most important thing is you make your slits the same size so that they slit in together nicely. So to do that, that's why I suggested you have a little ruler. Because if you've got a ruler and you measure how big your plate is, and that's also quite good maths. If you can measure halfway down your plate, it gives you the exact halfway point. And like you can see there, I've drawn a little line on there at my exact halfway point. And all I'm going to do is cut both of my plates at the same time to make it a bit easier at making them the same length. That's what I figured out doing, because I actually find craft a bit tricky. And I found that the easiest way to do it. And once you have done that, you basically put one plate in front and the other plate behind, and it slots right in like that. You see, really, really easy to do. And now, if you've got some pens at home and you've got your card ready, even if you haven't had time to draw your slits, we're going to get drawing now, aren't we, Rachel?
We are, yep.
So I'm going to start drawing my smiley face, because I have to say, even when I'm feeling rubbish, I do find if I smile, not only does it make me feel better, it also makes the people around me feel better too.
And I'm writing some words on mine because I'm not very good at drawing.
I'm not very good at drawing either, but I think that'll make everyone feel better.
So I've just written patience because I feel like
That's
I
a
run
big- that's a
quite
big
short
word.
of patience. Wish you could see what's going on in the background. Ian is munching his way through that popcorn.
He really
the
does
burnt
like burnt
bits out.
popcorn.
Oh, he says he's taking the burnt bits out. It's very generous.
I kind of look like I've drawn a clown mouth.
I'm going to use a different colour.
I'm also going to draw, I think, similarly to sharing smiles, I also think it's really nice to encourage people, maybe writing a message to them or giving people a phone call to let them know that you're thinking of them. And so I'm also going to draw a picture of my telephone and reminding myself that how important it is to share love with other people just through messages.
That's a good idea. Sending a text. I love getting texts.
Do you know, someone did that to me last lockdown at a point when I was feeling really sad, and they just sent a "How are you doing?" message.
Yeah.
And actually, it made me feel better to think, actually, that person's thinking about me. I wonder sometimes if you're feeling a bit sad, if a friend at school notices and says, "How are you doing?" Or maybe you're at Zach's and Caitlin's school, they had a buddy bench where if you were feeling a bit sad, you could sit on the buddy bench and people would notice. And I wonder if you've got something like that at your school when we go back to school, and you could share a little bit of kindness that way.
So I've got time as another thing on my.
Oh, you
I
don't
feel
have
like
enough
I'm on a
time.
clock.
Well,
Yes.
do you know that
I never have enough time to. As my
I'm
husband
going
will
to draw
tell
a
you.
clock on mine to say that I can share
You can
my
offer
time.
your time.
I can
That's
offer
great
my
as
time
well.
to other people. That's a great one. You've given me a great idea there, Rachel. Has anyone else got any ideas, Wendy? What else could I draw on my plate?
What about an ear?
Oh, to listen.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Fabulous.
sometimes think that we forget that people like to have someone they can talk
You're
to.
testing my drawing skills there.
Sorry.
I've just drawn a spiral. That does not look like an ear.
Draw a round and then a big ear.
This is what.
Very.
You can tell
It's
Wendy's
more
used
like a
to
fish.
describing things.
It's more like a fish. Okay, that does not look like an ear. I don't know what I'm going to do with that.
It does look like a shell. But then you do talk about the shell idea, don't you?
Okay, right. How are you guys doing at home? Have you drawn anything on your plates? I'm going to show you. Hang on. Can I just show you how bad I am at drawing? Here we go. There's my phone, my clock, my ear. Everybody, it's an ear, and my smile. There we go. Rachel, what have you got?
So
on yours?
I have got patience. I've got inspiration. I'm doing some writing at the moment, and I just don't feel like I've got enough ideas.
Inspiration is
and
a great
ideas.
word.
That's a big thing that I'd like lots of this week, because I've decided to give a bit of time this week, and I need some time, inspiration, and ideas to get cracking.
Oh, you're going to lead us in a prayer about this,
So
aren't you?
yes, what we're going to do, we're going to give you a couple of minutes just to be quiet as a family, and even if you haven't finished your drawing, to bring your plates before God. Now you can use your plates to kind of make your stuff get bigger or smaller, kind of however you want, or however little you feel you've got. You're going to try and grow it, and have the courage to believe that Jesus is going to help you this week to turn your little into a lot. So we're going to give you a couple of minutes to pray as a family before we finish our time together today. So bring your plates before God, and then I'll pray one last prayer when we're all back together. We're going. So everyone, let's just pray one last sentence prayer together. So hold your plates in your hands and let's just bring it all before God. God, will you take what little we have to offer? Will you take all of the ideas that we've shared and use it so that others will see your glory this week? Amen, everyone.
Amen.
So we don't have quite as much popcorn as we did because, as I say, Ian has been munching. But he does say that he's taken out all the burnt bits. I didn't realise the microwave was more powerful. And, of course, I couldn't see what was going on anyway because I was too far away and I hadn't got my glasses on. So here is our popcorn. Let this be a real encouragement to you. Do you remember that little tiny pot?
I do. It was
With
so
little
tiny.
And we know you just didn't believe that something that could fit in that tiny pot could feed everyone. Thank you so much, Wendy. Here it is. That's how it started, and that's how it ended up. And God can do even more than that. There's no magic about popcorn, but the potential of a little tiny seed of popcorn to feed the whole room. In our story, in John chapter 12, it said they all had enough. They were all satisfied. Let's pray that for each other this week. But there were still 12 baskets left over. So God can do even more than we've asked him to do. Be encouraged, everyone. If you feel a little bit like a tiny kernel of popcorn, bring it before God this week. Do use the Facebook page to encourage one another, because you might just be putting a comment on the Facebook page that somebody else needs to read. So do use it to encourage each other this week. We're out of time, so we're going to say farewell, enjoy Valentine's Day, have a great half term, and eat pancakes on Tuesday.
Definitely.
Woo! Bye, everyone.